The winner of Miss Alabama. She promotes inclusivity and representation of all bodies. All bodies. We need to stop glorifying obesity. Obesity isn't healthy. I've been long opposed to representing all bodies.
So just being with my family, seeing their smiling faces, being in their presence makes me really happy.
All right, I can't have the music on there, but I can do this. I'm sorry. She has no place being Miss Alabama or anywhere else. That, if she was from Alabama, I'm more for representation for that kind of body. But anyway, I think I've got something else on Miss Alabama. Here we go. The girl in the middle just won Miss Alabama. Thoughts? Like that one's a pretty heavy too. Not as big as Miss Alabama, who looks like she ate Alabama, or at least like a major city in Alabama. I don't know. I mean, she's just really fat, and she shouldn't win the contest. I mean, everybody knows that. She shouldn't win the pageant. It's a beauty pageant. It's not a fat pageant. If it was a fat pageant, sure, she should win. Probably win all over the country. But if it's a beauty pageant, I'm sorry, that's not beautiful. I'm sorry, there is like an actual objective beauty standard. Or at least thereabouts. We know what isn't it, right? And that isn't. I'm sorry. She may be a very nice person, but I'm sorry. She's just too fat to win. She's just too big. I'm sorry. She's just a giant, big fatty, and they don't get to win the beauty contest because people don't think they're beautiful. It would kind of defeat the whole point. In fact, it does defeat the whole point. I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm not trying to be cruel. It's just reality. Remember the thing called reality? You know, when remember a day when everybody understood what was real and what wasn't? You know, that was back in the day when the beautiful women won the beauty pageant. Not the morbidly obese women that everyone knows isn't the most beautiful woman at the pageant. It was the days before that person won. It was back in the days when everybody knew what was real and what was fake, what was reality and what was fantasy. When everybody knew that a 300-pound woman wasn't going to win Miss Alabama or Miss Texas or anywhere else. Maybe she'd win some kind of eating contest somewhere. The Coney Island hot dog eating contest. That's fine. You could win that. That makes total sense. Beauty pageants, so, I mean, they're not fooling anyone. Again, let's talk about woke dysfunction again. Not fooling anyone. We all know this isn't real. Okay, they ruined that pageant and discredited it by giving Miss Alabama to somebody who does not deserve it, just objectively does not deserve it. Everybody knows. Everybody knows she doesn't deserve to win. Everybody knows she's not the most beautiful person there. Maybe she could be if she ate less and if she exercised. But you don't get to be a big, fat, lazy slob and win Miss Alabama. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Everybody knows this. This is called woke dysfunction. And what does it do?
Everything woke turns to shit.
Exactly my point, Don. Exactly my point. Thank you. This is the Emperor's New Woke. This is the real Emperor's New Woke. This is the dysfunction that I talk about all the time. This pageant is not performing its function anymore. It's doing something different. It's promoting a false reality in order to conform and to promote a cult, a far-left cult ideology. That's its purpose now. Its purpose now is to spread equity. It's the equity department of the cult. Everybody knows this is absurd. Everybody. Even she must know it. Yet they continue. Again, this, my friends, is the Emperor's New Woke. This is the real one. You may think, well, it's just a beauty pageant. What does that? So what if that's dysfunctional? What if that's not performing its function anymore? Yeah, but I tell you what, when it's everything, when it's medical associations, it starts to matter. When it's politics, when it's the government, it starts to matter. When the woke dysfunction gets into whatever it touches, whatever woke touches, it will turn to shit. And it's just slowly taking over everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Government departments, institutions, everything. When medicine becomes woke, that's a problem for everybody. Unreal. In order to be inclusive, the Canadian Cancer Society will no longer use the term cervix. Instead, it will use the term front hole. Front hole. Beyond parody. This should terrify everybody in Canada. The woke dysfunction is in the Canadian Cancer Society. It's in all of the medical institutions in Canada now. Everybody should be worried about this. Everybody should be scared. When health professionals, when doctors no longer know the difference between reality and fantasy anymore, when they prefer political correctness over medical reality, the woke dysfunction is getting into everything, folks. Everything, everywhere. When you see some stupid fucking beauty pageant and the wrong person wins because of equity reasons and healthy at any size, you got to remember that's happening in everything. Okay? That Miss Alabama pageant no longer makes sense, right? It doesn't work anymore. It's failing on purpose for political reasons. But it's not just staying there. It's getting into everything. So when you see it, I don't know, on a hiking club or something went woke or something, got to remember, that's just one more thing ticked off. It has to take everything. It has to take over everything. It is all consuming. It's going to take over every institution. It's going to decide whether or not you get medical care based on your identity or your politics or whatever. That's why you can't tolerate it at all. That's why it has to be drummed out of everything. Everything needs to be cleansed from the woke mind virus, from the woke cult ideology. It all has to be cleansed by it. Its tendrils will reach into everything. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.